back to the YouTube channel Pro Ends of Vids, and this is my round 11 NRL tips for 2023. And yeah, looking at how last week went for Magic Round, it was obviously a success, and there was a lot of great games last weekend. So we can only hope that the games from last week can back up into this round, and yeah, it can go even better for round 11. So let's just hope that round 11 is a good round in general, and it should be. It really should be, by looking at some of the games that are going to be coming up this week. Like obviously Storm Broncos at Amy Park is going to be huge. Storm and Broncos is going to be a cracker because, obviously Storm have had the wood over the Broncos the last couple of years, but seeing how Broncos are going this year, it could change, but we'll have to wait and see. Bulldogs Warriors could be somewhat decent if both teams turn up, but the big one on the Friday is Panthers and the Roosters, obviously at Penrith. Eels Raiders have potential in Canberra, and on Sunday Manly and the Sharks, the Battle of Brookie. The Battle of the Beaches, is on Sunday at 4 Points Park, which I'll be at, obviously. So, yeah, time to get into my round 11 tips. Also forgot to say, if you are new watching the channel right now, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment your tips in the comment section down below. Would be greatly appreciated if you can show your support to the YouTube channel by subscribing. Obviously, getting close to 3,200 subscribers, so I guess any subscriber or any type of support counts and helps. So yeah, but other than that, just enjoy the tips and get time to get onto the first game. So yeah, getting on to the first game for round 11, it is the Storm taking on the Broncos at Amy Park, and yeah, it's going to be a big game, this one, because like I did say, Broncos are a new side this year, and they will be pushing the Storm all the way, I have no doubt about that. And seeing how the Storm have gone so far this year, they haven't been that great, they've been a bit vulnerable in games this year, so definitely give Broncos a massive chance here in Melbourne. I know Broncos haven't won in Melbourne for a while now, but I think the way they're playing it's like a case where you don't say they can't win. So I think they can definitely push the Storm here. But looking at both sides, Craig Bellamy is named the same 17 that went down to the Rabbitohs in Magic Round. So no changes to the Storm there. As for the Broncos, Kurt Capewell has been named to play despite suffering a head knock against the Sea Eagles. There are no changes in that 17, so yeah, both sides are pretty much 1 to 17. Who am I tipping? I'm going to tip an upset. I don't know if it's an upset because of the way Broncos are playing this year, but I'd say the Broncos will win this one, and I'll go down to Melbourne and they will win there. So I reckon the Storm will fall to their well, I think they'll fall off and lose this game, and I think Broncos will win. So Broncos by 8 points I'll go with, and I'll go with first try scorer. Yeah, I like Heavy Farnworth first try scorer, but Broncos by 8. On to the next game now, and this is the first game on the Friday out of 2. Bulldogs and the Warriors at a core stadium, 6 PM early kickoff. So yeah, look, it's a very mixed game, I guess, this one, because these two sides did play each other back in what round was it? Round 4-3, I think they played each other last. So yeah, and obviously the Warriors won in a tight one in New Zealand the last time they did play. So yeah, I guess the Dogs being back at home would like to think that they can get some sort of revenge, I guess. But we'll see what happens, eh? But I think this will be a very close game. But looking at the Dogs team, Josh Adokar returns, which is a big boost for the club. So that means Declan Casey is the man to make way, and Harrison Edwards on the bench replacing Sam Hughes. And then as for the Warriors, Jackson Ford head knock and Edward Casey knee are both out. So Josh Curran moves from the bench to second row. Rocco Berry comes into the centres, and Marcelo Montoya slides into the wing. And Ronald Volkman is the new 5'8", with Dylan Walker going back to the bench, and Bailey Surin 18th man. Yeah, this is going to be a tight one, I think. This will be quite tight. But who am I going to go with? I will back the Bulldogs to win here. I think the Bulldogs being back at the core might help them a bit. They were unlucky not to beat the Raiders at Magic Round, I thought, but obviously Raiders were the better side there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess being back at Sydney will help the Bulldogs out, and I think Adokar there playing outside of Alan Motti will also be another another go-to edge that could exploit the Warriors. So yeah, I think the Dogs will win here by 2 though. So I'll go first try scorer as well. Josh Adokari's return. Okay, on to the main game on the Friday now. It is the Panthers and the Roosters at Bluebet Stadium in Penrith. Panthers, as of recent, have not been bad, but they haven't been, I guess, convincing in their games. The win against Warriors was important, but they weren't like that good. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do go against well, you'd think a bit more of a, I guess, more focused Roosters team that's determined to win a game after their shock loss to the Cowboys on the Sunday Magic Round, which I was at, obviously. So we'll see how they go. I guess the Roosters, they can bounce back, but playing Panthers and Penrith is always a tough ask. But looking at both sides, Ivan Cleary is named the same 17 that beat the Warriors. And for the Roosters, Egan Butcher concussion will miss the game under the NRL's mandatory 11-day stand-down policy. So Angus Crichton moves into the starting side and Fletcher Baker joins the bench, and halfback Sam Walker is listed among the reserves. So he could be a late inclusion, but I doubt it for this one. But for my tipping, look, I have a feeling Roosters might be up for it, but I think the Panthers might be a bit too good. So I'll tip Penrith here by 10, and I'll go Brian Toto for first try. Okay, on to Super Saturday footy. It is the Rabbitohs and the West Tigers taking on each other at a Core Stadium to start Super Saturday at 3 p.m. This does shape up to be a very interesting game, I think, because I think the Rabbitohs have been very good in terms of form and have been probably the top club so far of the comp, along with the Broncos, I'd say. But Tigers have a history of giving the Rabbitohs a game. So does that occur this Saturday? It really could, because the Tigers have found some form, and like just last year, the Tigers also upset the Rabbitohs at CommBank, remember, by a field goal with Luke Brooks kicking it. So does it happen again? Like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But looking at both sides, for Souths, no changes for the Rabbitohs. Yeah, no changes. 1 to 17 that Dimitri's name for that South side. And for the Tigers, John Bateman returns after being a late withdrawal from Sunday's game with a hamstring injury. So that means he will replace Asu Kepa-Owa in the bench. And he'll start Bateman, and Asu Kepa-Owa will go to the bench, and Alex Seyfarth, 18th man. My tip for this game, I'll go safe and tip Rabbitohs, but seriously, I'm not that confident for some reason. I think the Tigers do have a history of turning up against the Rabbitohs, and their form as of recent has been a lot better. So when the Tigers do have that little they find that form, they find like a bit of spark, and when they do find that spark, happens every year. They find that good patch of form, and when they find that good patch of form, they can do it for a bit, but then they can't do it for the rest of the year. But yeah, they'll be up for this one though. But I think Souths will win by 4, and I'll go AJ for a first try. On to the next game on the Saturday now. It is the Cowboys and the Dragons at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville, and this is the 5:30 fixture. So both sides are a bit funny in terms of form, because I'll start with the Dragons, and the reason why I think their form is a bit funny at the moment is because they are literally in games. They actually are in games, and they are pushing opposition to the limits, and definitely are, hanging in there. But they can't, win the game in a tight battle, and that comes down to a mental thing. So obviously the Dragons aren't all there mentally, and need to work on a few things. So yeah, they're in a real state of pain. But as for the Cowboys, we thought the same thing. State of pain, we're not going to go anywhere, and need things to fix on after the Sharks smashing. But I'll tell you what, that Roosters performance was incredible. Like, they really played and defended like 2022. So if the Cowboys of 2022 can keep reflecting like into this year, then yeah, the Cowboys in general will be another tough side to watch out for, and they will be good again. But going for both sides now. So for the Cowboys, Todd Payton has named the same 17 down the Roosters on Sunday, so no changes for the Cowboys. As for the Dragons, Anthony Griffin is sticking with the same 17 as well, so no changes there for the Dragons too. So both sides have stuck with the same 17s, which is interesting, but doesn't matter, because I think Cowboys are going to win either way. Up in Townsville, should be too good for the hopeless Dragons. So yeah, Cowboys by, let's say, 16 points. I think they'll go up there, and, well, they should be way too good. I'll put it that way. So I think the Cowboys by 16, and Murray Taulagi for 2. And on to the last game of Super Saturday. It is the Raiders taking on the Parramatta Eels at GIO Stadium in Canberra. And 7:35 p.m. game kicks off at. So, look, Raiders against the Dogs were pretty good, actually. Weren't convincing, but, they scored enough points in the end to win the game. And that game was all about scoring tries and points and whatever. So, the Raiders stuck to their structure, I guess, and still just fought in to win the game towards the end, I guess. And as for Parramatta, I don't know what's wrong with them. I really don't, because they have the team that should be around the top 4, top 8, as far as that, really, I'd say. But yeah, they're sort of struggling themselves. They're just hanging around the middle part of the ladder, which is like around the outside the 8, but around the middle of the bottom 8. So it's not great for Parramatta to be like that. But obviously, it's haven't really backed up their form to the grand final last year. So do they somehow win in Canberra? Don't know. I have to wait and see. But looking at both sides, Raiders have Alba Hopewadi returning to the side on the wing, and Xavier Savage drops out to 18th man, which is really interesting because I thought he may have came in for just Sebastian Chris at fullback, but guess not. So yeah, that's it for the Raiders. And for the Eels, Jake Arthur takes over at halfback from Mitchell Moses, who will miss Saturday's game as a result of the mandatory 11-day concussion protocols. So yeah, that's about it there. For this game, I will be tipping the Raiders here by, I'd say, 6 points, because I think Eels without Moses is going to be hard, and I think Jake Arthur can't be trusted either. That's just me. But, I think Eels have potential to win this game and push the Raiders, because they are good enough, obviously. But I think Canberra is just a bit more different to class. But we'll see what happens. But Raiders by 6, first try scorer, Hudson Young. On to Sunday footy now. It is the Knights and the Titans kicking off the first game of 2 at McDonald Jones Stadium at 2 p.m. Knights and Titans, it's a very interesting game, isn't it? Because I think Knights, after the last couple of weeks, Knights have been turning up and doing some good things, actually, and they have been in some games and have been pushing the opposition clubs to the limit. But just as of recent, they haven't been all there, have they, Newcastle? Like, obviously, had the bye last week, which helped them, the bye last week, but I don't know. That game against the Eels was just awful. They were diabolical and could not actually defend at all and could not find themselves into the game. So, does their fortunes change back at home? Don't know, but let's see what happens anyway. And as for the Titans, they've been in good form as of recent. They have been, doing their job and I guess playing footy that works for them, and they are winning games, which I guess you'll take. So we'll see how they go in this one, being away from Queensland. But for the Knights, Kurt Mann sidelined by abdominal injury, so Phoenix Crossan takes over at hooker and Adam Elliott joins the bench. Elliott will make his first appearance since suffering a groin injury in the opening game of the season against the Warriors, so Adam Elliott's back for Newcastle. And for the Titans, just one change only. Cruz Lemming comes back onto the bench for Kino Kinney, who made his debut against the Eels at Magic Round. So that's about it for both sides there. Who am I tipping? I will tip the Titans here. I think Titans have been in good form, and I know it's away from Queensland. It makes it a bit hard travelling, I guess, to Newcastle, where Knights often do turn up and do it. And well, so far this year they've been all right at home, from what I've seen. But I will tip the Titans here, though. I think Titans will be a bit too strong, and I'll back them here by, let's say, 4. And I'll back Jojo Fifita for first try scorer. Now, on to the final game of the round now. It is my team, Manly, against the Sharks at 4 Pines Park. And this is a game I'll be at. I'll be attending this game, obviously. But, yeah, look, it's a game that I, unfortunately, don't feel too confident about, because I don't think we're that good enough against bigger clubs, and I've learnt that. I've tried not to let the bias get in front of me, because we don't go too well against bigger clubs, and clubs are a bit more a class above us. So, yeah, I've learnt not to get my bias in the way of picking us against bigger clubs. Like, it's not happening anymore. But look, anyway, go for both sides. For Manly, we're stuck with the same team, which I don't understand why. Josh Schuster has been named in the extended squad as he works his way back from a quad concern. Brad Parker and Tolu Kola are Manly centres again, after both made successful returns from knee injuries last weekend. And for the Sharks, Dale Finucane came from the bench in his return from the suspension in round 10, but he has been charged. He has been named to start this week with Cameron McInnes going to the bench. My tip for this game. Look, I like to think that myself going back to another Manly game at Brookie, we win this time and actually have a go and get the result that we want. But I can't see it. I just can't, and it hurts to say that because I do love watching the boys play week in week out. But look, it's in reality. I guess we're not good enough. So I'll go over the Sharks here by Sharks by 24 points. We're not good enough. And Mulatalo for first try scorer. So well, we'll see what happens, I guess. But I'm not expecting anything amazing by the boys at all. So my tip for this round: first game Broncos and Storm, got the Broncos. Bulldogs Warriors, got the Bulldogs. Panthers Roosters, got Panthers. Rabbitohs Tigers, got Souths. Cowboys Dragons, got the Cowboys. Raiders Eels, got Raiders. Knights Titans, got Titans. And last game Manly and the Sharks, got the Sharks. But that's my tips for round 11 of the NRL. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel in case you're new. Aiming to get to 3,200 subscribers very soon. And comment your tips in the comment section down below. But until then, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.